much base it off what we did for the ATV stuff.
You getting it now? All right, it got bumped down a couple of degrees there, but here we are. We're back. We're live here on the starting line on RacerTV.com. And my friends, we have 2 rows started, a 3rd row about to take off, and there goes row number 3 now. And Zach Zakowski, old Zach himself, starting out in this one right now. The 990 going to get the whole shot, along with Kenda, John Kleitz, Craig Greenwood, and John Barnes out there on the starting line as we now look to row 4, Devin Steedley, Justin Luptix. We got Jamie McCoy, Derek Major, Matt Roll, and Jason Smith. Waiting on the green flag to fly now from Ricky Towery as the green flag waves, and another row is off and rolling. The 913 car, that is Jason Smith, an XC1 Pro Class driver, out front in this one to start things off, but nope, take that back. The 15 of Devin Steedley takes over the lead. We go to row 5, John Yoakley, William Yoakley, Clint Zettner, Justin Fleming, Cole Sequoia, and Kurt Ness. Waiting on the green flag to fly. The Yoakley boys going at it. Couple of Yamahas going against those Polarises. And there's the number 3 car of John Yoakley. Yoakley grabbing the early lead into the first turn and now into the second turn and out. And there is Uncle William. William Yoakley, a 5-time ATV GNCC winner here in the number 2 spot. Row 6, Michael Swift, Joe Kreselich, Coastal S&J, David Plavy, and Mike Jenkins. Green flag waves on this one. And it's the 75 car of Joe Kreselich getting the early lead. Row 7, Chris Brockway, Mitchell Motorsports, Digger, Doug Gus, Power Motorsports, and also Brian Riggs ready to roll next. And they're off. And it is the 411 Powers Motorsports car taking the early lead. Row 8, XC2 Pro Sport. This is the 3rd row for those guys. Team Dirty Diction, Gary Conklin, Firecats Racing, Yep Racing, and Craig Vanderhoof. Row 8 off and rolling now as we got the 100 car. That might have been Yep Racing in the 424 car. Numbers not matching GNCC assigned numbers. Row 9 is going to be John Henry, the legendary Mike Penland, Brian Baker, Jamie Held, and Richard Berkey. And the green flag flies on this one now. And is that the legend? Mike Penland, I believe it is, grabbing the early lead. Can he hang on to this hole shot? Let's see what happens in the turn 2, and he does. The Maxxis Can-Am of Mike Penland taking that early lead out there. We got row 10, Dan McConaughey, Garrett Harvey, and Ebbets Racing. This is your XC3 lights class. And you can hear that these are not nearly as big a horsepower machines, not making near the noise that some of those other UTVs, the XC1 and XC2 we saw there just a moment ago. Derek Ward is your early leader in that one, actually. Next row coming up, I believe this is Justin Sipes, Denise Wilkinson, Michael Falk. And I'm trying to catch a number on this car. Yep, not going to happen. So, missed that one. We go to row 12, Amateur Modified. This is our first row of Amateur Modified. Chris Wolf, Bob Nether, Team UXC Trantham. That's Kevin Trantham. And also Bill Ross. Amateur Modified off and rolling. Chris Wolf, the 69 car, getting a good jump off the line. He's got the edge out of turn 1. And he's got the lead now out of turn 2. Well, we got next row was Mark Dunbar. We got this Amateur Modified, Brett Wingfield, Blake McDaniel, Jeffrey Seislick, and Lucas Wemiller, something like that. Wemiller. And next, we have row 16. Actually, this is row 15. John Niebold, Derek Ward, Todd Harris, and Sam Collins. And the 111 is in this row, not the other row, I guess. I looked down and saw the 111, and so try to get the official GNCC car number in that one. 713, Sam Collins maybe, getting the early lead. Row 16, Rich Travelina, Aaron Davis, Mike Himes, and Vicky Fowler. Her son just won the GNCC title a few moments ago. She's out here going racing, Mama Fowler. Or is she? She may have decided not to. There's only 3 cars starting off the line there, so there's a good chance that Mama's still celebrating. Row 17, Austin Seelig, Tabitha France, and Wheaton Racing coming up. And there they go. That is row 17, I believe. Oh, there he goes. All righty, coming up next, I believe Tina Sharp, Terry Plant, Christopher Hale, Cheryl Major, and Jason Dehart. Row 12, Christopher Hale taking the early lead in that one, it looks like. In our final row, getting ready to take off, they are trail drivers Michael Kunkel and Lonnie England. Getting ready to take to the trails here on Ricky Towery's final cue now. And it looks like our UTV race, the final one for 2015, is underway here today. And we will sort it out and crown a champion coming up here shortly as the R2 racing machine takes the early lead in this final start of this side-by-side racing here this afternoon at the Ironman. We'll be back with more here on RacerTV.com as GNCC Live continues.
GNCC Live is brought to you in part by Polaris Ace, a whole new off-road experience. And by AMSOIL, first in synthetics. Rocky Mountain ATVMX, get ready. And by Maxxis, find your flow.
And welcome back to the AMSOIL GNCC here at Ironman Raceway here in Crawfordsville, Indiana. My name is Chuck Leemaster, and pleased to bring you this 6th and final round of UTV racing on the GNCC series. As we get our first look now into the woods as these cars are starting to hit the hill climb, it won't be long and they'll start to check into the finish line chute, and we'll get to learn our running order. But to catch you up to speed, when we left you 2 weeks ago at St. Clairsville, Ohio, we had a three-way battle going for the lead. It was Kyle Cheney versus Larry Hendershot versus Mouse Pratt. As we concluded our final round, we had a battle with Kyle Cheney and Larry Hendershot. Larry Hendershot was falling off the pace, and we wondered what happened to him. And on the very last lap, our points leader, Kyle Cheney, had a bad race, and he ended up not finishing that last lap. So our points look like today, Kyle Cheney is still leading Larry Hendershot, but not by enough to clinch the championship. So as we come to this final round of racing, we are wondering who will win this championship. A lot of luck can play into this, a lot of bad luck, a lot of good luck, but also a lot of skill. And chance favors the prepared, and these guys have spent the last 2 weeks preparing their machines, preparing their equipment, and most of all, preparing themselves to come out here to the famous Ironman Raceway. We're getting a shot here in the field, and this is what's often been called the corn cross, referring to supercross racing, as they go through this high-speed corn section. And you see the dirt here is just the most beautiful dirt that we have seen all season long. There's a little bit of rain here in Indiana earlier in the week. Forecast was that there was going to be a lot of rain today, but the skies have held off. They're gray, but it has made the most prime racing conditions that we've probably seen all year long. The dirt here is perfect for these guys, and as you see them kicking up roost, coming through this 60-mile-an-hour cornfield, these guys are having the time of their life right now. And as it turns out, this is a record-setting weekend for UTV racing, as 92 entries have entered into the race for this weekend. 92 UTV race entries, back to where it all started in 2007. The very first, I wonder if we should do this thing, UTV race in 2007. We came out here, we did a one-off race. Let's have some fun, let's tear up some equipment. And in 2008, GNCC brought a whole round of UTV racing to the series. That first season was won by William Yoakley, who won the next 3 seasons in a row. And this year, the sport has elevated to an all-new level, as these guys have come out here with factory-level equipment, factory-level support, and the race is on. We've got some times checked in now on our first lap. The first lap is always a short lap because it's not a full lap, but right now, Leading this race is Tim Farr, our winner from 2 weeks ago in St. Clairsville, Ohio. Tim Farr is leading this race by 3 seconds over Kyle Cheney, our current points leader. Bill Patterson, second place in St. Clairsville, Ohio. Bill Patterson is holding down the third place position as we start out this race. Mouse Pratt, number 3 in our points race, number 4 on the track right now. Larry Hendershot, number 2 in our points race, number 5 in our race right now. William Yoakley has worked his way up from the third row from his starting position. William Yoakley has already worked himself into the 6th place position. David Plavy, the triple nickel number 555, is in the number 7 position. John Barnes, the number 995, holds down the 8th place, and number 9 is Stephen Matko, third place finisher, or second place finisher actually, at St. Clairsville, Ohio. Stephen Matko is holding down the 9th place. Joe Kriselich, out of the XC2 row, is holding down the 10th place position. And that is your top 10 running order as we've completed now 1 lap of GNCC racing here at the Ironman Raceway in Crawfordsville, Indiana. You know, as we come into this, we've talked a little bit about the points. We've talked about preparation and what it's going to take for these guys to come in here and win a championship. But right now, it's all on the line. And as we're getting a look at, it looks like that's one of the new Yamahas that we're focused on your RacerTV screen. Yamaha was pleased to introduce the YXZ 1000cc machine, and we're taking our very first look at one of those in action. And I'll tell you, folks, having been a UTV racer myself, I am excited to see that machine and see how it's handling in one of the roughest and fastest sections of the racetrack right there. That thing is dialed, and it is railing those corners. I'm not sure who that rider is or who the driver is, but man, he is making that machine go fast. That machine right there, if you haven't taken a closer look at it, you're going to have to take a look at a 3-cylinder machine based off of the R1 motor. Back in the day, Yamaha lopped one of those cylinders off, put it into the Vector snowmobile, and now it's made it the crossover to UTV. It's a manual shift with a clutch, and could revolutionize the way that we do UTV racing, as Yamaha now announces they are a serious player in the sport competition segment of UTV racing. Of course, they are joined, and we're taking a look right here at some Polaris Razors and the Can-Am Mavericks, who have made huge gains in the UTV market over the last several years since UTV racing has been brought to the general population. As I mentioned, it was 2007 that GNCC decided to try one of these races. It was a success, and that was held right here at the Ironman Raceway. In 2008, we started with a 4-round series. We did 4 rounds in 2008, 2009, 2010, and then we went to 6 rounds of racing. And we're getting our look at the hill climb right here. As these cars are launching themselves up the hill, you see all the people gathered around. And as a driver, you know when there's that many people gathered, you better be on your toes, better be sharp, better know what you're doing, and be aggressive in order to make it up these obstacles. Right now, these 4-wheel drive machines aren't having any problem. Of course, the skill that it takes to pilot these has really progressed along with the machinery. The skill levels have also increased. And we see the drivers have had a lot of seat time, a lot of practice. They've got these cars, the suspension dialed. They know what to do when they see an obstacle like this. And to them, honestly, that hill climb isn't too much. Just hold her to the floor, keep it straight, and keep your momentum going. That might not be what all of our fans want to see. We're hoping to see some people get cross-rutted, get a little sideways, have a little action there. And we see a couple people sizing it up. Should I hit this? How should I hit this? And it looks like all is well. Tires are really hooking up in the perfect dirt here at Ironman Raceway. We're getting a real good shot here on our TV screens with RacerTV. Our crew is out there in the woods. The lighting today is just perfect and prime for these kind of camera shots. And we are pleased here at the RacerTV crew, pleased to be able to bring you this round of UTV racing. It all culminates. This is the most famous UTV race probably in the country, as Ironman brings these riders all kinds of different terrains, different obstacles, not just the hill climbs, but the creek crossings, the corn cross section of 60 and 70 mile an hour speeds, jumps, whoops, bumps. It takes it all. And as we looked at our Tuesday Toolbox segment this past week, Zach Sikowski was featured in that, and Zach Sikowski is probably best known for his 4-wheel drive ATV race experience, but here lately he's been racing on UTVs. And he was talking about how Ironman can change anything. It's the last round, and with only 6 races in a series, that last round can really change your points chase. he explained how last year he came into Ironman 18th place in points, got second in the race, and closed them all the way up into the top 10. So Ironman is not only a fun race, but it's a critical race, and these racers all know it, and they've been working hard these last 2 weeks to put it together. And we're wondering right now, it looks like we are hearing our machines come through the finish line to finish up their second lap. We'll try and get you some updated results here to see, can Tim Farr hold on to his #1 position after 2 laps of racing? And as they check in right now, indeed, Tim Farr just checks in, and he is still holding down the #1 place, but he is closely followed by Bill Patterson. Bill Patterson aboard that Polaris out of Morgantown, West Virginia, home of Racer Productions. Bill Patterson is in the #2 place, but he's only 4 seconds behind Tim Farr. Now, Tim Farr is a former ATV pro racer and is no stranger to the UTV world, as Tim Farr has been around UTVs since the very inception of UTV racing on the GNCC series. And Tim Farr has had some good races, and he's had some races where he's had some bad luck and breakdowns and difficulty. But he's one of those guys that knows exactly what it's going to take to overcome those difficulties and put himself into a winning contention. And right now, even on adjusted time, Tim Farr is holding down the #1 position, followed by Bill Patterson, and checking in now is Larry Hendershot. Larry Hendershot has moved himself ahead of Kyle Cheney, who also checks in. But get this, Tim Farr leads, Bill Patterson second, Larry Hendershot in the 3rd place position, Mouse Pratt in the 4th place position, and Kyle Cheney holding on to the 5th place position. When they came through earlier, it was Kyle Cheney that was hooking on to the coattails of the lead pack. But right now, Kyle Cheney is just inside of the top 5 behind his nemesis, Larry Hendershot. If this continues, however, Kyle Cheney does have enough of a points gap to secure that championship. And I know that what's going through Kyle Cheney's head right now is championship points, especially after his St. Clairsville experience, where he broke down and was not able to finish the last lap and had a 13th place finish. Right now, Kyle Cheney has got to be thinking 5th place is a championship. Take it easy, make the machinery last, and make this lap count. As we continue to look at our list of leaders that have checked in, Kyle Cheney in the 5th place position. John Barnes has moved his way up to the 6th place position. The name that we haven't seen in the last couple races, Travis Pointer, is in the 7th place position. Travis Pointer aboard a Polaris for this race out of Belpre, Ohio. He was our first round race winner when we met in Georgia. Travis Pointer won the first race, came in 2nd place at round number 2. Today he's sitting in the 7th place position. Stephen Matko has gained a position. He's up in the 8th place position now. Stephen Matko was our 2nd place finisher at the last round. 9th place belongs to Marcus Pratt. And 10th place is Frank Olander out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And that is your top 10. Tim Farr, Bill Patterson, Larry Hendershot, Mouse Pratt, and Kyle Cheney are your top 5. Turning our attention now to the XC2 Pro Sport. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the championship race that we forget that there's another whole class of contenders here that are vying for attention, and this is what we would call the Pro Lights Championship chase, and this is the XC2. David Plavy was leading that last time we checked. David Plavy continues to lead it. He's the only one that's checked in with 2 laps complete, as we're waiting on Joe Kraselich to check in. He was in the 2nd place position and inside of the top 10 last time around. So once he checks in, he could affect our overall standings once we look at the time adjustments. But David Plavy, Joe Kraselich, my apologies, John Henry, Craig Vanderhoof, and Jonathan Powers are your top 5 in the XC2 Pro Sport class. Taking a look on screen now at our live feed from our RacerTV.com feed. Getting a good look in the cornfield section here. Not able to read that car's number. We're hoping for a look at some of our leaders come through, because it's always amazing to see how guys like Tim Farr and Bill Patterson, Hendershot, and Cheney, how they can navigate this course. And we get a look at some of our XC2, XC3, some of our other classes, and we get excited. But when these XC1 guys come through, you can tell that they're dialed, that there's a lot of difference. Joining me in the booth right now, the one and only, the infamous Rodney Tomlin.
Infamous. I like that introduction, no doubt about it. Wow, what a day. What a day, what a day. We got that start. Sorry for the initial rough patch at the beginning of the broadcast here today for the UTV side of things, but man, we were shifting gears and switching places and had about 4 different things going on. Well, 2 different things going on at one time. Got a little bit overwhelming there for a moment, but we got it all under control. We got her on the air, and we got GNCC Racing continuing with the UTV side of things. Chuck LeMaster and Tim Farr, whom we seen win 2 weeks ago, was picked up right where he left off. I haven't been following the race so far today, but right now it looks like Farr, to me, picked up where he left off 2 weeks ago and is trying to make things happen. He had a lap time of a 10:13.9. Bill Patterson, kind of a, not necessarily a new name, but a name that we don't hear a whole lot about. He's running in the number 2 spot right now. He turned a 10:13.2 lap time. The difference between those guys actually only 5 seconds on adjusted time right now. So that's a pretty tight race going on. Larry Hendershot's back up there, one of the factory Can-Am riders on the JB team, and he's running about 10 seconds behind right now the second place rider of Bill Patterson. So Hendershot's well within striking distance of a podium today. Heck, he's in striking distance of a win, quite possibly, too.
Well, you know, Rodney, to catch you up here, it looks like when this race first started off, it's been the Tim Farr show so far, as we're making quick adjustments here in the booth because we do have a special guest that's going to join us today. And as we get things situated, Rodney, let me just catch you up real quick. Tim Farr has been in command of this, but early in the race, in the first lap, Kyle Cheney was ahead of Larry Hendershot. Now, Kyle Cheney's our current points leader, and Larry Hendershot's in second place position. Larry Hendershot has made the move on Kyle Cheney, but so far it's not enough to do anything for the championship points race as Kyle Cheney still has a commanding points lead. It's just not enough to secure that championship without going to the Ironman. So we do have Kyle Cheney out there probably playing it safe as he knows that he needs to finish this race to finish the championship. And that leaves, I think Bill Patterson is there in the second place position. And if you remember, Bill Patterson made himself known at the last race by securing second place.
That's right, he did. He most certainly did. You know, we look at Bill's progress through the year. He finished 28th at round 1, 7th, and then 8th at round 2 and 3. Comes back, pops it off with a top 5, and then a second place at last round. And again, he's another driver that's picked up right where he left off. So way to go, Bill Patterson. And way to get your name out there and keep it out there. There's no doubt about that because he is making some waves out there and running about 5 second faster lap time than what Tim Farr is.
Rodney, I have to make an apology just because I owe it to Bill Patterson. I did the podium interview at the last race 2 rounds ago, and Bill Patterson, as you said, he hadn't really made himself known up until that point. And I'm on the podium, I'm like, who is this dude? I forgot his name. And I had to say, give it up, second place right here. I promise, Bill, you keep this up, I'm not going to forget your name twice.
No doubt about that. Joining us here in studio right now, somebody else that is very, very hard to forget, and we're talking about none other than Jesse Strawham, who has been competing this year in the Polaris Ace race that we have every morning at 9 a.m. And Jesse was out there this morning, got the whole shot in the early lead. I thought, yeah, Jesse's going to win this one, but from what I gather, she's a little underpowered right now, so she can catch him in the woods, but the straights like they got here in Indiana, those big open sections are tough for her to keep up with. But Jesse, welcome to RacerTV.com, GNCC Live, and welcome to the Ironman hunt.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here. It's so good to be back. I started racing back in 2005, and it's good. I took a few years off, and it's good to be back here.
And here's the interesting point about all that right now as we're watching some action on the RacerTV monitor right now. The neat thing about that is the first ATV youth race took place here October 23rd, 2004. You started racing in 2005. That was the first official year of a GNCC ATV Youth Championship. So you're a product of that then, right?
Yeah, I was actually the first girl to ever get youth podium.
That's right. I do remember that. You were. You talk a little bit about that, Jesse, because I can remember, man, it seemed like whenever you were growing up, I mean, you had speed, you had talent, you had hunger, you had desire, you had everything that you needed to go out there and do great things, and you were doing great things.
I mean, GNCC racing never leaves the blood. Once you're in, you're sucked in. I mean, we're a big family here. You know that. Everyone knows everybody, and as it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, it's so good to see. I'm so glad to be back. I have this awesome opportunity with Polaris and RacerTech, and unfortunate events brought me back, but it's not that unfortunate. I don't mind being paralyzed. It's a good time. I'm really having a good time being paralyzed.
That sounds really strange to say, and I know what you're trying to say whenever you're saying that, because what you're saying is you're making the best of a horrible and terrible situation, and you're making the best out of it. And in reality, you're not letting it get you down any, and I think that is great.
Yeah, I mean, I have so much going on, from running for Miss Wheelchair USA. I'm actually representing North Carolina. I'm Miss Wheelchair North Carolina.
No way.
Yeah.
Gonna be a beauty queen.
Beauty queen, from mud to beauty, right? That's how it goes. I'm racing for Polaris and RacerTech again next year, so you will see me again on an ACE for the 2016 season.
Oh yeah, that is awesome, and I'm so glad to hear that. And I know, it seems like an incident that took place in your life that seemed like, for a lot of folks, I'm sure it seems like the end of the world. It actually opened so many doors for you, and it presented so many opportunities. I mean, you had been a women's GNCC ATV racer, and you were kind of, I guess, pulling away from that. Life was leading you in other directions and things like that. And then you had a terrible motorcycle street biking accident where a lady turned left in front of you. And
she made a U-turn in front of the bike I was on, and the driver of the bike didn't stop in time. I actually saw it coming, and I tucked and closed my eyes, and I was like, here comes the hit. Woke up a week later in the hospital.
Wow, really? That's really hard. And I know it was probably a tough pill to swallow whenever they told you you were paralyzed. But again, I got to commend you on the positive attitude that you took, because I remember those first initial social media posts that you made, Jesse, and you didn't seem a bit down. You never once seemed like you let it really bother you, to the extent that I myself, imagining myself in that situation, would.
My first 3 weeks in the hospital, I was still in ICU, and while being in ICU, I was angry, so angry. I just kept saying, why me, why me? And then once I got to therapy, inpatient therapy, excuse me, I started changing my attitude a little more. I actually spent the first 4 months of this year in the hospital. I didn't get out until the second week of April.
Wow, that's crazy. And then, of course, you historical, groundbreaking surgeries that has really, I think, advanced you in your recovery process.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I mean, 5% of people come back from this injury. Part of me believes it's because a lot of people get this injury and give up on life, and that's not the way you need to do it. You gotta grab life and just go on with it. I mean, and that's what Project Inspiration's all about. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm trying to educate people on, is getting back to your normal life, getting out there, doing things, trying new things at that. Like, I'm going to try WheelchairMX.
Wow, that WheelchairMX, no kidding.
If I can get a box wheelchair, I'm going to do it.
That is amazing. You are such an animal. There's no doubt about that.
Nothing can stop me. I want to do as much as I can while I'm in this wheelchair.
That is awesome. And you are still planning on walking someday, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I want to do as much as I can while I'm in the wheelchair, because I feel like this time of year, I probably won't be in it.
Really? That is amazing. That is miraculous too, Jesse. And Project Inspiration, how can we find out more about that? How can people get involved? How can you affect someone else's life?
Following me on social media at Strawham820 on Instagram and Facebook. It's STRACHAM820. Inspiration is the hashtag. It's Inspirace, like an Asian. So that's INSPIRACE, Shun, TION.
Inspiration. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
because it started with the ACE, and it's just blown up into so much more. We have huge things coming for 2016. I'm very excited.
I know that we cover some highlights and stuff from the morning races. We don't get a chance to watch it like we do the UTVs and things like that, Jesse. But you've become a big part of that. You got the whole shot this morning. I thought, there we go, you're going to win this thing, and doggone it, you ran into problems, and here we are sitting here talking about what could have been.
I hit a tree, and at that point, I took my goggles off, I took my gloves off, and I was like, I'm finishing this race old school. No gloves, no goggles, and just went at it. And I had a blast. It took me back to mini quad days. That's how much fun I had.
Wow, that is awesome. And speaking of the ACE races, we actually had a chance today to watched the Ace racing, and we watched a brand new winner make his way into the Ace history books. Congratulations, Dylan Harper.
Yeah, that's huge. Really, congratulations to him. And then Sam Yoakley as well. You know, he's been on fire this year. So it's really good to see, you know, a younger Yoakley coming up.
It most certainly is. And we did have a chance to catch up with the new Ace race winner, Dylan Harper.
Hello and welcome back to RacerTV's coverage of the Ironman GNCC. We're here today with Dylan Harper, first-time winner of the Polaris Ace race. Dylan, you got to be pumped.
I'm pumped, man. I mean, it was a great race. I had a lot of fun out there, so yeah.
I tell you, you guys made an 800-mile drive at the last minute. Now, a lot of competitors, you know, 6, 7, 800-mile drives are kind of common, but last minute, you guys, you know, threw the equipment in the vehicle, come out here and you get a win. You got to be pumped.
I mean, I can't be more happy with it. I mean, especially thanking my dad. But great track. I mean, Walker Evans helped us with the shocks and wheels. Other than that, I mean, the Polaris performed great. I mean, it stuck to the track well. It was really tacky out there, so good race. It was fun.
Last race of the season, you end up with a win. It doesn't get any better than that.
Doesn't get any better than that, that's for sure.
Congratulations, man, and back to you, Rodney.
Well, there you go. That's the way that the Ace race all panned out today. Congratulations again to Dylan Harper. And that's, you know, we introduced that class a year ago right here at the Ironman. Now, you weren't involved in that race, were you?
No, I was not actually, but it's great that Polaris is here. They're doing the demos, letting people go out and try the Ace out and actually get to see what it's about. I think it's great for people of all ages, genders, everything.
Now,
it's a great vehicle.
If you have to tell someone what a Polaris Ace is, how do you explain to them what it is?
I say it's like a quad, but you sit in it. You're more comfortable. You have more control. I feel mine personally feels like a quad because of course I have the hand controls, but I think it's safer. It's for the person that wants to be competitive, but especially for females, you know how the WXC class is. We all know how that class is. Tracy Checkle and Angel are still out there, and you have Kylie and Alicia, all of them out there just killing it, and they're so fast. I'm like, I couldn't even keep up with them if I could ride. Jeez. And so the Ace is for more the laid-back person, you know, that wants to compete but doesn't want to take the risk of being in the 2-hour race.
Right, and the neat thing about that from a consumer standpoint, if you're not a racer, it's a nice, easy way to go out and trail ride by yourself at the same time and feel and have total control in the same situations as a side-by-side and or ATV at the same time.
Well, I mean, it's great, especially for husbands and wives, because a lot of wives don't want to ride with their husbands in a side-by-side because they do get kind of crazy. And so, or if the husband has a quad and the wife doesn't want to be on the quad, it's great. I think it's great for women.
I agree, and I think it's great for everybody. I mean,
yeah.
and I think the point that you're making is a very valid and great point that you're making. Also, maybe you ought to go into the marketing idea of this and tell them, say, make this a ladies' ride or something like that.
I mean, it's for everybody though. It's for people of all ages. It's for the person whose back
Ricky
isn't
Towery's
that well.
got one, loves it.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, it's great. It's great to get around.
But Jesse, I do want to say thanks for stopping by. Project Inspiration, Miss Wheelchair North Carolina. Is it wheelchair or is it?
Yeah, it's Miss Wheelchair North Carolina. I'm running for Miss Wheelchair USA. I go to finals next July.
That is amazing, and I love the positive attitude that you bring, the smile, just everything positive about you. You're making me feel good on a bad day. I was feeling kind of rough there, but now that I've talked to you, I feel like I'm on top of the world right now.
I mean, we're all on top of the world. We're still here breathing. We have the good Lord, and that's all we can ask for, right?
Amen, sister. Amen. Jessie Strawham, ladies and gentlemen, one of GNCC's great. She is a Polaris Ace pilot now. Used to be a former youth racer. The first girl to ever win a youth ATV race in GNCC history, and the overall in doing that. So that lady right there has got a story to tell of her own. There's no doubt about it. Jessie Strawham, an amazing young lady, and just a whole ball of inspiration, man. I mean, she makes me feel good.
Oh man, Rodney, you're telling me. I had the privilege of knowing Jessie years ago. You know, when she was still racing WXC, and she rode with me in a UTV one time, and we went out there and brought home the gold in our class. And she's it's great to see her back at the racetrack.
It most certainly is, and I love her perspective on everything. You know, I mean, just amazing. She cuts no bones about it, man. I'm in a wheelchair. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. You know, that's really odd how that works out, but sometimes it takes something like that for somebody to really truly find themselves, you know?
Well, it's that adversity that well, I have to say this because I'm the preacher for the series. It's that adversity that drives us closer to God, to seek God and find out that God has a higher purpose for us, even beyond what we see in this life.
Amen, bro.
She's related that story to me on a personal level, and that's exactly what happened in her life. So I'm just thrilled for her.
Amen on that. Thrilled for what's going on out here right now for.
While we check on that real quick, let me make a public service announcement.
Okay.
We need a Justin Bigot, B-I-G-O-T-T. Justin, if you're in the sound of my voice, we need you to go to the finish line, please, and see Melissa. Thank you.
3 laps down. Tim Farr continues to lead. He's opened his lead up now to 11.4 seconds over Bill Patterson. Lap time last time around at 10:02. Bill Patterson at 10:09. Mouse Pratt checking in now in the number 3 spot with a 10:08 lap time. Tough break there for Larry Hendershot on lap 3, it looks like. The number 6 car dropping to a 10-minute and 30-second lap time. He actually lost about 30 seconds lap time on that time around. Not sure what happened. And there you go. Back in the number 5 spot is the number 1 car. Your defending national champion in the UTVs, Kyle Cheney, is looking to drive for his 2nd consecutive here today.
You know, I think I've mentioned it a couple times already, but Kyle, he's just got to bring it home. He knows just drive it safe, be conservative. UTV racing, anything can happen. And although luck favors the prepared, sometimes bad luck bites anybody. And so you have to be careful. In the UTV, in a 1,400-pound car, you have to be very careful, especially here at Ironman, because they show no mercy on this course. When Barry Hawk and Jeff Russell lay this course out, they stick to the tradition of Ironman racing. And they take you over the river, through the woods, up the hill climb, through the corn cross.
Past Grandma's house.
Yes, you got it, yeah. And you ain't singing Christmas carols, I promise.
No, you are not. You're just hanging on for dear life. You know, I raced this event back in 2005, I believe was the year, on a utility ATV, man. And I reminisce about that all the time often, and especially when I drive through that gate out there and I think about where the start was and what it felt like to feel the start underneath the wheels on that day, and what it felt like to break 2 ribs and still ride and feel the ribs moving around inside your body and trying to find the smoothest line on the race course, which there were none.
All right, so it sounds like you let the quad ride you.
Well, no, I was doing pretty good. I had to use the bathroom. I stopped and got off in a creek. Forgot to take my goggles off. They fogged up. I couldn't see. I wasn't wanting to take a stick to the ice. So anyway, I clipped the tree, and that's all she wrote. Actually, I kept on going. I did. I finished the race.
Proud of you for that. But next time, just pee in your pants.
Rodney Smith told me that after that.
And he was serious.
He was. He was. And I realized that then. I'm like,
okay.
If I'd have known that, then I didn't know the secrets of the trade back then.
Yeah. Peeing on a tree is for quitters.
Now you tell me, right? I would have done it. I wouldn't have cared. But yeah, and for you folks that are listening at home, they do that. Riders, you know, they hydrate themselves quite a bit sometimes, and they don't have time to stop during a 3-hour or 2-hour or hour-and-a-half race or whatever the case may be. So if you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah. I've never had that much on the line, so
I didn't have a lot on that line that day either. I was just out having some fun. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, and speaking of fun, you know, we're getting a look at our leaders here, and that's Bill Patterson in the green car with the green lights on the back there. That's Bill Patterson still holding down the number 2 place. And looks like he's putting on another super strong ride. And last week, 2 weeks ago, he had to come, I think, from 4th or 5th place on the last lap and charge his way all the way up to 2nd place position. So this year, he got a better starting position on his start row, and he is just flying. And
wow.
I can't tell you a whole lot about his car because he's kind of a newcomer to us, but I finally figured out that's Bill Patterson.
Yeah, that's one of the more unique cars on the track, too, man. I mean, there's not a lot of fanciness to that.
He shaved weight.
Yeah, exactly. Shaved weight. Now, who's that coming up behind him? Is that Cheney?
That would be Cheney, I think, according to the last lap.
Mouse Pratt was running in the number 3 spot, but the way that guy is driving with the fever that he is driving with right now, I got to wonder. But Mouse drives like that, too.
Yeah, and they're both in yellow Can-Ams, so we didn't get a good look at that number there, but they'll be coming through the finish line here pretty soon. And
we'll get, actually in about 5 minutes, we'll be seeing them come through this finish line.
I do want to give a shout out because twice now our RacerTV crew has focused on a yellow car out there, and it's the new Yamaha YXZ that has just come out, and there's only one of them out there that I know of, and it's piloted by Cole Secoy, the number 222, who is currently running in 15th position. And so once I get my notes together here, we'll figure out where he started from. But every time the TV crew focuses on him, that guy is railing. That thing is flying. And it is going to be an exciting world next year.
It is.
As more of these guys get those cars up to speed.
You know, whenever he saw the introduction of the side-by-sides, Polaris seemed to have things in the bag with the Razors. And then the Can-Am Mavericks and Commanders came out. Or the Commander, I guess it would have been.
The Commander first, and then the Maverick.
Yeah, and then, of course, with that, you know, here we sat for a few years, you know, Kawasaki, they just went with their utilities-type stuff, Honda and Yamaha. And then all of a sudden, Yamaha looked like they were stepping away from the side-by-side racing end of things anyway. And all of a sudden, they introduced one of the most advanced off-road side-by-sides I've ever seen in my life. I mean, watching the one of these machines operate at stock level is utterly amazing. I tip my hat to the folks at Yamaha for raising the bar on that one.
You know, back in 2008, when GNCC started the UTV series, most people didn't know who it was, but there was a guy that came out and raced a Rhino here at Ironman. Actually, he did several rounds, and it was the chief design engineer for the Rhino. And so he has stayed in touch with me over the years, and he keeps saying, we got something coming, we got something coming. Boy, was he right.
Wow, I tell you, it really is. It's something, it's hitting the market by command, I believe. It's a commanding machine on the racetrack. You can tell it by when it comes around the corner, man, you know that machine's different than all the rest of them. Well, Tim Farr, Bill Patterson, Mouse Pratt, that was the way they checked in at the end of lap number 4. In 4 minutes, we'll see if there's any changes. Kyle Cheney was running back in the number 4 spot, about 17 seconds back. He was also running a 9:58 lap time, the only driver sub 10 minutes there on lap number 4. And that might play into his favor. Larry Hendershot has dropped to 5th. Travis Pointer running in the number 6 spot. John Barnes is 7th. Former champion and winner of this race, William Yoakley, the number 5 car, is 8th. John Yoakley, his nephew, is running in 9th place. Steve Matko rounds out the top 10.
You know, that's interesting. William Yoakley had moved his way up. He got 4th at the last race, and he had moved his way up. I believe he was running 6th early on, but it looks like Travis Pointer, who I didn't even see at the last race, is right now running in that 6th place position. And Travis made some waves earlier this year by winning our opening round, coming in 2nd at round number 2, and then he had some bad luck and some race luck, I guess you'd say. And it looks like he's having a pretty good day today. So welcome back, Travis.
No doubt. As we go down to the XC2 Pro Lights, we're going to give you a recap of what's going on right now after 4 laps in this class. It's David Plavy, the 555 out of Royal Valley, Pennsylvania, with the lead. Jonathan Powers, the 411 car, is 2nd. The 8 car, John Henry, running in 3rd. Sean Bogdan, the 421 car, is 4th. In 5th place, 21, Michael Swift, who nearly won the 4x4 Pro Championship today by, man, he was right there. He had the lead. So close. Had the lead until the last lap. They came in nose, bumper to grab bar, basically, when they came
Brian Buchanan?
Yeah, Brian Buchanan ended up winning that one. Stole it away from him right there. Craig Vanderhoof in 6th. 7th place is Chris Brockway. Seth Mitchell runs 8th. Digger Doug Gust running in 9th place, and Jamie Held rounds out your top 10. Yes, that is the Digger Doug Gust from ATV Motocross Super Famedom. That man is multi-time ATV Motocross champ and just all-around good guy. We talked about him last time. He's not only that now, he's also a crop duster.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's pretty cool. Now, just by way of an honorable mention, Joe Kraselich was an early top 10 overall guy. He was in the number 2 place in XC2, and he has dropped off to the 16th position with only 1 lap complete. So sounds like Ironman might have bit our friend Joe there.
XC3 Light sees Denise Wilkinson leading Justin Sipes, Vine Grove, Kentucky. Justin Sipes, Ryan Sipes.
That's got to be Ryan's brother.
That's Ryan's little brother, Justin. Pooh, as they call him.
Go Pooh.
Go Pooh. Pooh in cart in 2nd place. It is the 419 of Andrew Evans in the 3rd place position. 470, Michael Falk is running 4th. Dan McConaughey, the 39 car, is your 5th place in the XC3 Lights class. Oh,
Denise has a lot to be proud of. If she's beating one of the Sipes boys, she has a lot to be proud of.
No doubt. He is.
I don't care what they're driving.
Yeah, I mean, he's a racer at heart, period. I don't care if he's driving a car, riding a motorcycle,
he's a pro
whatever.
motocross racer.
Kevin Trantham leading the amateur modified. Trantham nearly winning the championship himself. He was in the bid for that one this morning as well, but he comes up short too. But he's winning here in the amateur modified at the side-by-sides. Chris Wolf, the 69. That is the rider that I confused last week with Chris Axline. For some reason, I was thinking that was Wesley Wolf's uncle, but I find out Chris Wolf, no relation to Wesley Wolf. Bill Ross, the 405 out of Avella, Pennsylvania. 713 Sam Collins, he's 4th. It's Mike Dunbar in 5th. What's going on?
That's Mouse Pratt all over Bill Patterson. I mean, like like a fly on garbage, we'll say.
I like that analogy. I like how the preacher changed that up. Todd Harris runs in 6th. John Neibold is 7th. Bob Nether 8th. Brett Wingfield in 9th. And Blake McDaniel rounds out the top 10 in amateur modifieds. I don't know. I think we got one more class possibly. And Rich Travelina is leading it. He's got about a minute and 59-second lead in this amateur limited class over the 412 of Chris Hale. Terry Plant, the 106, runs 3rd. Austin Seelig, the 144, is 4th. Jason Dehart, the 422, is 5th. Tabitha France, 423, is 6th. Got Cheryl Major in 7th. Mike Himes, the 407, is 8th. Tina Tharp, the 103, is 9th. And Aaron Davis, 402, rounds out your top 10. Now, we were looking at XC1 pros there a moment ago. Oh, wait a minute. We got trail class. We got Michael Kunkel and Lonnie England running 1 and 2 in the trail drivers. But as far as the overall concern, remember we do time adjustments, and we do time adjustments in the classes too because not everybody gets to start on the same row. White flag is out, and after 5 laps of racing,
oh wow,
Bill Patterson checks in the number 1 spot, 1.1 second behind him, Tim Farr in the number 2 position. Then in 3rd spot after 5, Mouse Pratt, 21 seconds back, but only, wow, it says 24 seconds ahead of Kyle Cheney. I think that might have been, did we see a little tighter race going on in that?
We did, but that was Mouse Pratt all over Bill Patterson.
Oh, that's right.
I believe that Bill Patterson started from the 2nd row, which is what you're seeing as a time adjustment for Bill Patterson.
That would make a lot of sense then. That would make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so, all right, so that puts Cheney back in 4th. Hendershot is 5th. Travis
so Kyle Cheney, our points leader, has passed the number 2 guy on the racetrack, it looks like. So we've got to still have a little battle going on here for bragging rights.
Yeah. Pointer, John Barnes is 7th, David Plavy in 8th, William Yoakley 9th, John Yoakley in 10th. XC2 Pro Sport leader David Plavy, the 555, is your 8th place ride right now, just giving you an FYI. It says white flag flies here at the season finale, Ironman GNCC. Rodney Tomlin along with Chuck Leemaster. Chuck, want to remind the racers and fans here at the track tonight, Team Faith has chapel services coming up at 7 o'clock.
That's right, we do. And before that, from 6 to 7 o'clock, of course, is Trick or Treat. You got to put first things first. Trick or Treat will also have a bouncy house and obstacle, inflatable. David, Digital Dave and I raced through that last year, so it's kids of all ages and sizes. And we'll have some 9-square tournaments and a lot of fun on Vendor Road tonight from 6 to 7. And then from 7 to 7:30 will be chapel service.
And also Moose Racing is putting on a dinner. It gets underway about 5:30 here this evening, getting underway here probably in about a half hour or so. We got a mechanical bull here. We got all kinds of crazy things. And we got UTV side-by-side racing. Here's that race we were talking about there with looks like Bill Patterson, the 32 car, in the lead.
Yeah, and Bill Patterson and Mouse Pratt are duking it out right here, and I believe that they both started on the same row together. So physically, whoever's in front of the other is actually the winner of their little battle that they got going on. What they might not know is that they're running in 1 and 2 overall, and it looks like they just keep on pushing each other. And Bill Patterson has dug deep today and found some speed, finds himself in the lead, the overall lead of this Ironman GNCC, and man, these guys are just putting on the ride of their lives right now.
No doubt. If you're a race fan, these are the types of races that you live to go watch. Probably about
4 or 5 seconds separating these guys right now out here in this open field section, but they're heading into another tight wood section.
Oh, and look at the gap that they've got.
Wow.
They are out there in their own element today. And if you had asked somebody at the beginning of the race who's going to be running 1 and 2 and running away from the field, not enough people have seen these guys running up front consistently to really choose.
And, you know, I honestly got to say and think that maybe even Bill Patterson might even second-guess whether or not he would be the one doing it.
I don't know, because last 2 weeks ago on the podium, I said, man, you came out of nowhere. You were running like 4th or 5th place on lap number 4 on the last lap. Here you are. And what'd you do? He's like, man, I was either going to win or break it.
Sounds like Adam McGill. He broke.
He was going for the championship, though. He left it all on the line. So, and for our fans at home watching just UTVs, we had the ATV Pro race XC1 culminated here at the Ironman. It came down to the very last race, and Adam McGill, hats off to him. He's out there right now.
Is he?
He is riding shotgun in a car right now, and he broke down in the creek and came back and didn't cry about it. He just got into his fire suit and went down the start line.
I like what he said. He said he's coming back to thump Walker Fowler's butt next year is what he said.
He said something like that.
He did. I tried to dress it up a little bit, but
oh, that's right. The boss is here.
But anyway, man, congratulations to Walker. I think that Adam is certainly starving to win that championship as well, so it's not going to be an easy task for Walker to win that one 2 years in a row. Not saying he's not going to do it, just saying it's not going to be an easy task to make it happen. You know, oftentimes they say winning a championship is harder than keeping a championship. I know right now Walker Fowler's thinking, man, it was hard enough to win a championship. What's it going to be like to try to keep this championship?
Well, he'll have to go ask Chris Borich.
And Chris Borich just said, you'll figure it out in about 6 years.
Yeah, man, that's a guy who's had a run of it. Was so happy to see him racing this year, and look forward to Borich being back next. All these guys, man, it's as Jesse Strawham said, it is a family, and we all get along here real well.
Well, cars due in less than 8 minutes before we see checkers. We have Patterson, Farr, Mouse Pratt, Kyle Cheney, Larry Hendershot, your top 5. Now Travis Pointer checks in 6th. John Yoakley checks in after 5 laps and time adjustments, puts him in 7th place. David Plavy, XC2 Pro Sport Class, is still 8th place. John Barnes, 995, is 9th place. And William Yoakley drops off to the number 10 spot. And that's an unfortunate consistency that we've been seeing out of William Yoakley as of late, man. Consistently has seemed to have problems. When we see him moving forward, he all of a sudden starts moving back again.
Yeah, he's really had a difficult year. He started off the season with 2 DNFs, and we talk about him because he's a multi-time champion with UTV racing. I mean, he's really he did a great job in 2008, 9, 10, bringing UTV racing to the forefront, getting some good sponsors.
And he is a 5-time winner of the Ironman GNCC on the ATV. I don't know how many he's got with the UTV. Combine that with his win, he might be the winningest competitor here.
He might be the winningest rider at the Ironman. This is his place.
Yeah, Chris Borich has 7 ATV wins. William has 5 ATV wins. Couple that with his UTV, and man, we might have something rather historical there for William Yoakley.
Yeah, so he's definitely worth talking about, and he's just had some terrible runs of it. He did get a 6th place at round 3, but after that it was 18th place and then 4th place 2 weeks ago, where he really picked up the speed, and we thought, oh, William's back.
Yeah,
and he's top 10 today, but we know he's worth a whole lot more than that, and so we'll have to catch him afterwards and find out what the story is inside of that car.
His brother John Allen, his nephew, is racing with him. John Allen's the nephew. John, his brother, who used to be a GNCC ATV racer also. Well, they're having a birthday hog roast over at Coastal for my daughter tonight. Not really, they were having a hog roast. We're just throwing the tagline. My daughter turned sweet 16 today. So we're having a birthday hog roast over at Coastal tonight, and I'm going to talk to John about that.
Yeah, I have to ask him about that. But in the meantime, happy birthday, Destiny.
Yeah, she's sweet 16, and you know.
So when you see Destiny out in the pits, be sure you say happy birthday and maybe even sing to her. She really likes that.
She likes to be sung to. She really does. Especially by cute boys, but stay away, cute boys. Ugly boys stay away too.
Yes, yeah.
All boys stay away.
You know, her dad is loaded. Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded with a gun. I'm not loaded financially, I'll tell you that. I got plenty of ammo, though, that's for sure.
All right, what do we got? About a minute left of racing here, so this is really going to start boiling to conclusion here. And the question is, can Bill Patterson hang on to it?
It is. And will Kyle Cheney be able to maintain his ride to secure that championship? He's got a 22-point lead heading into this one and a big buffer zone. It's going to take a lot for him not to win the championship.
Yeah,
but they're still within the realm. Yep, it's within the realm of possibility that it could happen, that something steal it away from him. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Now, here's the real question for this race here at the Ironman. Because we have adjusted time that we have to deal with, Bill Patterson is leading this race right now. But as we saw last week, time adjustments can do anything. Does Tim Farr even know that he's running in second place, or is Tim Farr out there thinking, hey, I got this in the bag, going slow, taking it easy? I guess, and there, speaking of Tim Farr, there he comes right now. Okay, he's going to be the first one to physically take the flag.
So Tim Farr will round the final turns, and Tim Farr will take that Can-Am back by Gunk and Liquid Wrench through the finish line and to the physical first place position on the racetrack.
But look who's right behind him, not 20 seconds behind him.
And that's where the tail of the tape is going to be told there as Tim Farr checks in with 6 laps complete. Bill Patterson checks in with his 6th lap complete. A 9:54.6 lap time for Tim Farr. Bill Patterson turned a 9:57.9. Tim Farr takes the win so far by 2 seconds, 2.2 seconds.
So that answers the question of time adjustment, that they must have started on the same row and had a physical battle going on out there.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Mouse Pratt, has he checked in yet? Because last we saw, Mouse Pratt was all over Bill Patterson's bumper.
Yeah, I had those rose sheets. I was meant to bring them with me from the start, and I'm sorry if I didn't.
Yeah, that's all right. We've made do, because here we are at the end, and 6 laps complete.
There's
Tim Farr, Bill Patterson, and Mouse Pratt.
And there's Kyle Cheney. Looks like you're, like a second time in a row.
Yeah, there it is.
UTV champion. Your national GNCC UTV champion right there, Kyle Cheney.
No stranger to the podium is his co-pilot, Chris Bithell, riding alongside of him there, who got 3rd in the ATV race just a few minutes ago.
And he retired. He raced his last GNCC XC1 Pro Class race. He says chances are he will not be back to race an ATV, but he will be back to ride shotgun with Kyle to defend this national championship title.
He loves it. And he was serious when he said, I ain't coming back to race my ATV. He gave his helmet away to a fan. Off of the podium, he threw his helmet out to the crowd. Said, I ain't coming back. Here. But then he went and got his fire suit and has just helped clinch another national championship for Kyle Cheney.
Wow. An hour and, 59 minutes, 51 seconds, call it 52 seconds here as Tim Farr takes the win. Bill Patterson will finish up in a number 2 spot. It's Mouse Pratt 3rd, Kyle Cheney in 4th, and Larry Hendershot, my friend and yours, rounds out the top 5. GNCC Live and UTV racing coverage continues after this.
GNCC Live is brought to you in part by Polaris Ace, a whole new off-road experience. And by AMSOIL, first in synthetics. Rocky Mountain ATVMX, get ready. And by Maxxis, find your flow.
And welcome back to Crawfordsville, Indiana, the home of the Ironman. 21 races strong now here in the soils of Indiana as we celebrate A great day of racing here, a new championship, a new era in ATV racing, and a second champion, or a two-time champion, about to be crowned, it looks like, in side-by-side racing coming up here in a few moments. Tim Farr taking his second consecutive race win here in UTV racing for 2015. Bill Patterson finishing up second. That's his second consecutive second place, as Mouse Pratt will take third there today. Kyle Cheney, who finished fourth, will take your title, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. 22-point lead. I think it's going to take a lot, even if Farr, yeah, there's no way. So Cheney's pretty much your champion in this one, so we'll be crowning him that here shortly. But congratulations to all of our drivers and teams out there today as they make their way in. We'll give you a rundown of how things are breaking down here. My computer is being very contrary today and very slow to refresh, so apologize on the refresh moments, but we got to your top five. John Yoakley checks in. That's John Allen Yoakley checking in sixth place. Travis Pointer will check in on the number 7 spot. William Yoakley, believe it or not, moves all the way up to 8th place after dropping back to 10th place. So good things going on there for William Yoakley. David Plavy, the 555 car, he ends up in the 9th place position. He is your XC2 Pro Sport Class winner. And rounding out the top 10 overall, the 995 of John Barnes out of Ashland City, Tennessee. That is your top 10 with 6 laps in so far. Official lap or race time for Tim Farr, 59 minutes, 51.9 seconds. So 59 minutes, basically 52 seconds, just 8 seconds shy of a full 1 hour there for Tim Farr on the racetrack. 59.54 for Bill Patterson, who was 2 seconds behind. Then Mouse Pratt, he got the full hour, an hour .22, and that would have been 1 hour and 22 seconds for Mouse Pratt there. So not too bad. Very tight racing today. We got to see good nose-to-tail battling, and oftentimes, you know, with the UTV races, we haven't been able to witness the nose-to-tail and physical competition on the racetrack, because oftentimes it's guys on different roads that are battling on time adjustments that bring us to the exciting conclusions of these races. Well, today the cream rose to the top. There's no doubt about that. Farr, Patterson, and Pratt making things happen here at this Ironman. Don't forget, folks, we will have more GNCC racing continuing tomorrow right here on RacerTV.com as GNCC Live will get underway again tomorrow about 1 o'clock. We've got the motorcycle action. We've got a champion crowned in that one, so it's a matter of who wants it the most tomorrow. And those are always the exciting ones, I think, as well, to come and watch, so make sure you tune back in for that one. Also, race fans and families here at the racetrack this weekend. Tonight, I want to remind you that right now we've got the Parts Unlimited farewell dinner underway down there. So family members and racers can head on down, grab themselves a free meal courtesy of Parts Unlimited and Moose Racing. I want to say thanks to those folks. They provide meals for a lot of folks. By the way, Frankie from New York Pizzeria up by Unadilla in New Berlin, New York, is catering the affair tonight with some of his, man, great meatballs and some pastas and salads and great things like that. But, man, I'm telling you, talk about the meatballs. Frankie can whip them up. And if you're ever up in New Berlin, New York, just south of Unadilla, be sure and stop in and see Frankie and the folks up there and tell them, hey, and they do such a great job. Great job by our top three, as I know Chuck LeMaster has made his way over to the podium and is trying to get our top riders and drivers onto the podium itself right now so he can congratulate these teams on jobs well done. Tim Farr, man, I'm telling you folks, Tim Farr, once he gets the hang of something, usually he's pretty tough to beat from that point on. So we might be looking at something new and exciting on the horizon for 2016 when it comes to UTV and side-by-side racing here in the GNCC Racing Nation. Be headed down to Maxis Victory Lane, where we auctioned that off just a few moments ago, the podium backdrop anyway. Didn't quite hear exactly how much it brought, but I know that there was a lot of prints and stuff that they brought up, riders' prints. I think Walker Fowler's print from earlier this year, a print from earlier this year went for well over $500. You know, all proceeds go to cancer research, and not only that, but also to help the folks out here in Montgomery County with the free clinic that they've got over there, giving and providing free mammograms. In the case where people are ill and can't pay bills, sometimes they help out with electric bills, water bills, gas money to get to and from the race, or not the races, but to the hospital, as well as food money and things like that. So it all goes to a great cause. There's no doubt about it. And if you are giving here at the racetrack this weekend, you are giving to a great community, a great organization, and giving to something that is well worthwhile. It's worthwhile that we stuck around and waited on this as well, because the podium presentations and celebrations are going to be exciting again as we head down the Max's Victory Lane, where Chuck LeMaster stands by.
One, two, one. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2.
All right, this will be fun. Microphone might fall at any moment, but we will make it through. Again, I'm Chuck Leemaster with RacerTV, up top here with Mouse Pratt. Mouse, you put on a great ride today. It looks like you guys were pretty dialed and running up front all day long. Tell me about your day.
It was a good day. It was awesome. Got a little rough out there, you know. He hung in there with me. You got these guys over here to our right. They was flying, man. They was on it.
Yeah, it looked like you had caught up and had some battles going on today. And like you said, the track was beautiful. Perfect dirt as you started the day up. The track together?
Down that creek and fell a little bit. You know, got some deep in there. So watch out, some braking bumps, accelerating bumps. And, you know, Timmy, our mechanic, he built this car pretty solid. It held together.
Well, to finish first you have to finish, and that's number one rule in UTV racing. And I know that there's a lot of people behind you that help you get to where you are today. So go ahead and tell us who you'd like to thank.
This race actually goes out to my grandmother. She's had a little bad luck recently, so let's wish her the best. Love to thank my wife, Tim Oliver. You know, all these guys out here come and watch this event and put it on. You know, it's fantastic. Like I said, Danny, my wife, all the Jack's team, everybody supports us, the GNCC, and these guys over here. We love it. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. And, man, we've been watching you all year long. We know you've had podium success before. Congratulations for today's ride.
Thank you.
And Mouse Pratt, everybody. All right, and make our way down here to the number 2. This is Bill Patterson. Bill, if I could, I'm going to have you step over here so we don't get too much feedback. First of all, I want to publicly apologize to you because 2 weeks ago, Bill Patterson was on the podium. He charged hard on the last lap, made it to the podium, and we hadn't given him much play at all during the race. And I got up here and was like, oh, man, I went blank. So my apologies. I'll not forget you. Won't forget your car. I'm so happy to have you up here.
Thanks, man. It's been a pleasure.
Well, for sure. Now, we saw you got a lot of RacerTV time today as we dialed in on you and we watched you drive, and you were really flying today. So how did your race start out?
It started out fairly well. I got a good start and stayed with the lead pack. We got around lappers, and the track kind of broke in a little bit, and it was basically just running on rails. Just give it gas and let it go.
For sure, when you were out there in the field sections, you got a lot of good TV time, and you could see that your car was just squatting low to the ground, hooking the corners, charging hard, and it looked like you were driving flawless.
Yeah, well, I just got my suspension done not too long ago. I'm sure you guys have heard of Coastal Racing. I had some help from them, and ever since then, it's flawless.
Fantastic. Well, besides Coastal Racing, I know it takes a lot of people to put a pro-level team together and get you up here on the box. So who would you like to thank?
Well, first and foremost, March Weston. They're there behind me all the time. Barnhart, Craig down there, he's sharp on them Polaris's. You guys need anything, you better get a hold of him. Rough Road Cycle keeps me on tires. Bike Man Performance, my engine. 84 Lumber, Outlaw Motorsports, Gorilla Axle, Streamline Brakes, Tire Balls, Kaiser Rims, Hoy Concrete. Thanks, everybody.
Man, congratulations, Bill Patterson. And congratulations for being able to interview through the hum, man. That took as much talent as driving. Good job, man. Pleased to have you up here. Moving our way here to the middle of the podium. No stranger to the middle of the box. We got Tim Farr alongside of Angel Knox.
Yeah, we had a great race today. The start was decent, but we worked into the lead right away, and we were cruising and getting through lappers good. The Can-Am was awesome. Fox shocks, we did some tweaking on them before the race, and, man, the thing was great.
So you were dialed and hooking up, and it looked like you had control of the race early on, and it looked like it was going to be the Tim Farr show. And then things closed up a little bit there. Did you have some trouble?
Yeah, we got into some lappers and tried a different line at the hill and got into some mud and slid into a tree and had to back up a couple times to get away from it. And we didn't know that he caught us. We were just, all right, we're good. We got back going, caught those same guys again, passed them on the motocross track, and we're cruising. I thought, okay, we're good. Let's save the car and not beat the car. And we got out on the field. The muffler or something broke on this, so we couldn't hear. We never heard him coming. He went by us, and it was on. I mean, we were battling hard. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Wow, that's fantastic. We had a little bit of difficulty in the booth to figure out who was all over Bill Patterson. We knew it was a Can-Am, and we gave the credit to Mouse Pratt down there, but it was actually the Tim Farr getting your position back. And you're right, there was a definite battle going on as we were able to watch this show. And Angel, what'd you see from your side of the car?
Well, Timmy is a great driver. He's a little crazy, and I'm not going to lie. I told him I hate his car because he was throwing so much roost you couldn't see anything. So I'm like, I hope Timmy can see because I can't see nothing. But he played it smart. He was getting a little crazy, which I had to calm him down, which is why I'm over there. And I knew if he just played it cool, he'd get him back, and he did.
Yeah, fantastic. And, all these competitors out there, we might see a bunch of them running with no rear. Joke that nobody heard. Man, give it up. Tim Farr. If we could, we'll bring you all in together here. Get your pictures with Ken Hill and Harlan Foley, and I think we've got a little bit of bubbly to spray there.
Well, there you go, folks. That'll do it. That'll wrap up our Ironman UTV racing here at the GNCC. And, of course, you, my friends, give it up for our top 3 teams overall here today. Again, driver in the third place car, Mouse Pratt, Bill Patterson in second, and Tim Farr, your Ironman UTV driving champion here today. Look at that big hammer he's carrying around there, my friends. That's going to be a nice addition to the trophy case, and I believe we may even have a number 1 plate that will be passing off to Kyle Cheney here shortly as well. Look at that. Everybody wants to know what that trophy feels like, and I can tell you it looks pretty heavy the way Tim's carrying it around right there right now. So once again, folks, our Ironman winners, and Tim Farr lets it rip, my friends, as the bubbly sprays everywhere.
Don't get the preacher.
Don't get the preacher. That's funny. And Angel Knox, congratulations to her on her 3rd WXC title. She wrapped up in Ohio. Today she raced the Junior A 22-plus class and got the whole shot. That was pretty impressive, to say the least. Not sure if we're going to do, I guess we'll be doing the podium presentation for the number 1 plate coming up here in just a few moments when Kyle makes his way on over. For those of you at home, though, we want to thank you all once again for tuning in, reminding you to tune back in again tomorrow as RacerTV will be live at around 1 o'clock as we'll bring to you the final coverage of 2015 in the 2-wheel action of GNCC Racing. So make sure you're around for that. 1 o'clock tomorrow, and that's going to pretty much wrap things up here from the Ironman today. On behalf of my cohorts today, of course, Chuck LeMaster here at the UTVs, Fred Andrews earlier with the ATVs, and also Megawatt Matt Watson, I'm Rodney Tomlin saying, great day, everybody.